Apparently, apparently our audio isn't coming through at all. Nope.
Is no, don't use the default. Use the Yeti. Hey, there, fucking a.
You take 1 week off.
Ah,
I
you.
swear.
You're making it very hard for me to change the properties. You're the one that wanted attention, not me. All right. That should fix everything. Anyway, welcome back to the live Mr. Video Game Super Show. Um, man, I said so many words and they all went off to nowhere lands. Hey Nomi, hey Giant Pie, hey Coop, how you guys doing today? Hopefully positive. Yeah. I'm Slacker Kite. I hit buttons and occasionally fail to hit buttons. And I do the editing and say what stories should go on live. And this is Merlin. He makes sure that nothing works properly inside this house. Yeah, happy birthday, Pie. 3 cheers. Hip hip hooray. Anyway,
Hey,
we got our normal people back here with us today, as always, starting off with the newsman himself. It is Wonder Boy, aka Brian. Woo!
Yes, it is I have returned for something. I don't know. We were off last week. Whenever would have been prime opportunity to get in on this stupid conversation that actually is very, very important. But
Yeah,
we're gonna get to it this week. But
yeah.
it's okay though, because it gave me a week to like bathe in all of this.
We
Fuck.
took a very bad week to take off, but I think it still is relevant anyway. Uh,
Oh
con-
no, it definitely is.
Considering we have like 5 actual stories and 2 that I put in just because I thought it would be funny and give us some segues so that we're not like potentially mad all of the time during this show.
No, I mean it's good that we're back and
Yeah.
having the chance to talk about everything now. I don't know. It's been a wild weekend for me. I basically watched close to 24 hours of wrestling
Good lord.
this weekend. Yeah, there was a 24-hour marathon uh from GCW called Fight Forever that I watched the majority of. And that was fun. Uh including some big old gay wrestle fights. It's always great.
Hails, yeah.
But yeah, no, but it's been fun. I'm doing all right. I'm well rested and well recovered. At least
Nice.
until I heard that RE8 news today, and then I was fucking floored.
Dude, all the RE8 news has been just really fucking weird, but we will definitely get to that. That's on the list.
I'm talking about one story, and you
Oh,
know what story. You know what I'm talking about.
do I actually?
You know it.
All right. We'll get to that when we get to that. Marilyn, how you been, buddy? The good lady Marilyn.
good. I had a wicked migraine this afternoon, which really fucking sucked, but it also meant that I was here on time, which is weird as well. And when Brian was talking about the weekend, I'm like, the fuck's a weekend? Oh, wait, you mean Tuesday and Wednesday?
Yeah, you're midweek.
Yeah, because my Monday is your guys' Friday.
You been up to
Um,
anything good?
uh, Not much, really. I mean, I've kind of just been in a bit of a fog lately and surviving on watching stupid YouTube videos.
I mean, isn't that how we all survive?
True, but I mean, I've watched really stupid YouTube videos. There's a guy called Josh Dub,
Josh Dub.
and yeah, and he pretty much like just puts out videos about him and his buddies dicking around in VR chat. And it gets really stupid and really offensive at times, but it's also funny as all hell, so I can deal. I can deal.
You can deal. Don't
I,
mind
I'll
me.
be
I'm
better
just
on Wednesday.
eyeballing the cat to make sure he doesn't eat anything. Anyway,
How have you been? Nobody's. It seems like we never ask how you doing.
how am I doing?
Yeah.
I did a lot of work and I sent you a thing, and that was about it.
Yeah, that's right. See,
Sounds
fog.
productive.
It sucks. I got arts from the Travis.
Yeah.
So the
I,
stuff that he posted in the Discord channel, our Art Times channel, are currently living in my living room right now because I need to figure out where the fuck I'm gonna hang them, and also make
aw.
sure I have nails and a hammer.
I always get
But
the,
they are
the
gonna get
sticky
hung
tape.
up. Yeah, they are gonna get hung up. I just need to figure out where.
I mean, yeah, other than that, work's been kind of a bitch, but it should be, I wouldn't say it'll stop being a bitch, but it should be a better bitch happening soon, so that's positive steps, right? Like a better, happier bitch that still steps on my neck. I did get some time to sit down and play some video games. I think the first thing, I'm just going to piss off Brian. And
Oh,
yeah.
fun. What you got?
So
Ruin my mood.
I played the Return of Obra Dinn, and I think it's the most I've ever regretted paying for a video game in my life.
Your assumptions were correct. You have rooted my soul.
I had like negative fun playing it. I kept trying to like it and finding things to enjoy, and I didn't enjoy like listening to people dying. I didn't enjoy trying to make weird arbitrary assumptions about people in order to finish a book for reasons that tax reasons. Okay, I don't really care about any of these people whatsoever, and um I never totally understood what happened in the entire game, and I could only finish it because I cheated. Because I couldn't tell what was going on because it looks awful.
You've told me that I might enjoy this game, and I'm starting to think it would be too much like being at work because, like, the majority of my calls are, "Hey, my tech doesn't work." Okay, well, what's wrong with it? I don't know. The thing doesn't do the thing. And that's about all I get to go off of.
Brian explained to Lindsay why she would actually enjoy it, and I am the worst person to ever review this game ever.
No, so I really like this game mainly because I like games that like test my ability of deduction in the way that it does. But this one is especially good in that not only does it have that aspect to it, but the story that you're slowly learning about is fairly interesting to at least to me from out of the three people on this show. And I don't know, like I'm not usually like it's from the same person who made Papers, Please.
Oh,
Um,
okay, I'm in already.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
loved Papers, Please. It's great.
yeah, exactly. So like, it's just the next another version of that emergent storytelling that you got in Papers, Please. Except I really think that the point of Return of the Obra Dinn is that you're not necessarily supposed to get to the absolute truth because there's no way to get to the absolute truth. It's about finding the truth within the cracks that's there and trying to figure out exactly from what you can tell what happened. You're never going to find the absolute truth per se. Like even
Okay.
the truth that you come to at the end of the game is it really exactly how everything went, you know? I don't know.
Like,
I really like that idea when it comes to emergent storytelling because that's honestly like how a lot of truths are in a lot of ways.
Um,
after like 5 hours of the 60 people in the game, I had found all of their deaths, and I was able to say that 6 people had died in a specific way. I couldn't figure out anything past that. 6 was my limit.
um, so Brian, have you ever heard of a game called Orwell?
No, I have not.
Okay. One, grab it, totally worth it. It also the sequel.
Okay.
Um, but basically that one is you're playing as think like literally 1984
Yeah.
kind of a world, and your job is like that of the main character in 1984. It's your job to disseminate the news that's coming in and decide what is safe to put out.
Oh, okay. I have heard of this game.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
you
Totally
and
worth it.
Brooke were
Is
big fans
this
of it.
anything like that?
No, no.
No, not necessarily, because like you are investigating like this ship that has like everybody has died on it for
Okay, so here's the hook that repeats 60 times. You find a dead body, you pull out your pocket watch, you hear how the person died, and then you see a really jaggedy, pixelated scene of what happened. And you can walk around it and establish what happened there. Like, there's like 8 people that apparently the only way to know who died is either to guess amongst the lower deck crew or to know exactly what their deck numbers were and compare it against the deaths as they happened.
Yeah, I mean, I will say like there's a criticism against the game. Yes, it can be a little bit obtuse. It definitely can be, and some of the I totally understand like some of the like the feelings of like the arbitrariness of like trying to figure out some of these things in the game itself. But I think the game overcomes those things on the overall whole personally. But I totally let's do it this way. I totally understand why someone would not like get the same thing that I got out of it.
Hmm.
So like to that end, yes, I joke that you like tainted my soul or something, but no, like no, it's totally understandable. Like
Yeah.
but at the same time, like it's just a style of game that I enjoy. I look at it, I look at this as like a less depressing version of LA Noir, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, I think I hate Return of the Obra Dinn for the same reason that I hate escape rooms. That, like, you have to, like, logic a thing that has, like, its own barren logic. And I love adventure games. But usually you can just, start throwing darts at the wall and figure things out. There is no dart throwing in Return of the Obra Dinn. It is you figured it out or you didn't. Anyway, I also played a game called Maiden, and I did actually put my very, very short journey through it in the Discord under Now Playing. If you don't know, Maiden is the PlayStation 5 only showcase of basically what Resident Evil 8 kind of looks like. Because you don't actually get to do any of the actual gameplay stuff that's in Resident Evil 8. You're kind of just walking around. You do some puzzly sort of things. Coop, you get the maiden stream when somebody buys me a new capture card because the old one's power supply is missing, and now the capture card itself is missing because after we talked about this last time, I went to go look at it to see what the voltage was, but I couldn't find it. So somebody looked at this thing without a power supply and decided to throw that away as well. So yeah, if somebody wants to give me a capture card, I will happily stream Maiden for you. It's like 15 minutes. You're not going to get a lot out of it. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people that have played it on stream and whatnot. Basically, you walk around this gritty castle, and you look around at things and you poke them and you get some information. Like, we know that the maidens have been here since like the 1950s or something along those lines, and they make wine. And it seems like they make wine out of maiden blood, as far as I can tell. And then they murder your ass once you're found. It's pretty quick that you try to run away and then they murder your face in because they never wanted you to escape anyway. The end. It's pretty for a tech demo though. Like, okay, it's yet another like falling apart place, but like the grungy bronzes shine the way you expect them to. The dead body styles that they have around are as gruesome as you might expect from a next gen Resident Evil game. Um, a lot of the puzzles that are in it have that Resident Evil campy feel. Like they're definitely on the easy side of Resident Evil puzzles, but they're there. Uh, you never get to see who you are in the game. You're only referred to as Maiden, but from what I understand, it has some amount of stuff to do with the actual game that will release itself, not directly, but in an indirect manner. And there will be another demo that everyone will get to play, uh, unlike how Cyberpunk came out, and there was no way for anyone to play anything but the PC game. So there you go. Yeah, if you don't have a PlayStation 5, you're not going to get to play it directly, but there's like 5 million streams of people playing it. It's 15 minutes of your time. If you want to know what Resident Evil 8 is going to look like, that's a good place. Or, to be honest, you can just check out some of the information from the Resident Evil showcase last week.
Yeah, the game looks dope.
Yeah,
Like I'm into it. It has a very Resident Evil 4 feel, but with like the modern trappings that they've added to the series. So like
yeah. I'm glad
I'm
they
into it.
brought back the campy vibe because I was like, it was kind of campy in Resident Evil 7, but not really.
I mean, I got that, especially with how like where that game goes. I definitely they're just like we're just gonna go as over the top as we fucking can.
It's true. This is the trailer that they showcased, and honestly, you see a lot of the stuff that you see in the Maiden demo in this trailer. This is what Resident Evil 8 looks like. First, you go through an outdoor, frigid place. You're playing as Ethan from Resident Evil 7 again because this man doesn't need to have a family. They keep getting him stuck in awful places, and apparently his child's been kidnapped.
Oh, it's Fallout 4?
Kinda, yeah. But you can see like those dingy bronzes are definitely all over the place. Like it's still well manicured in the castle in the places that it is, and in the places that it isn't, it is definitely derelict, falling apart awfulness. And Lady Big, Lady Real Big. You get to explore that area in the demo a little bit, the foyer, if you will.
I don't know. I'm excited for this one. Like I don't know. I enjoy the Resident Evil series, the highs and the lows.
And there
Except for
have been
Resident Evil
lows.
6. Resident Evil 6 can get fucked.
I don't
Um,
know. Did you ever play the Resident Evil rail shooter on the Wii?
I did. It wasn't
yeah,
bad.
Oh, fuck. It was horrible.
for a rail shooter, it wasn't
For a rail shooter,
terrible.
yeah. It's
But
Yeah,
dumb,
but
but it's a rail
you look
shooter.
at that compared to something like House of the Dead Overkill that was also
oh
released on the Wii at the same time. And you go, well, I'll play House of the Dead instead. Thanks.
well, yes. I mean, House of the Dead is clearly the superior title between those two. But
Yeah, nobody's
uh,
putting a lot of money into rail shooters. Like even back when rail shooters were a thing.
fuck you, Time Crisis ruled.
Yes! My sister and I used to dominate at that in the arcades.
It's
Yeah.
okay though. We're talking over the tall lady, and I can't stand for that.
Don't worry, tall lady is gone now, so
I wish I could pronounce her name. I feel bad that I can't. It's like Lady
Demetri?
Demestro something. I feel bad that I can't pronounce it without like feeling like a dweeb.
Oh, now I need to go look this up. Tall lady.
Lady
in
Dimitrescu or something like
Yeah,
that.
if you
a
Google, don't Google image Lady Dimitrescu. But yeah,
Totally, totally do that.
the game is coming out May the 7th, 2021. It will be released on the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series S and X, as well as the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, as well as a PC release. So basically, if you play video games on a platform that matters, you will find this one. I absolutely am not talking about some property that doesn't matter as a console, but
I was about to say, are you saying the Switch doesn't matter?
okay, the
Because fuck
Switch.
you.
Switch lives matter, okay? That's what we're going
Oh
for here.
no 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 no
Oh
no
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 no no
no!
no no no.
I'm sorry.
No, we don't make that joke. That's okay.
Yeah, that's let me walk that one back. That came out of my mouth a little fast.
No worries.
You ever start saying something and you feel it coming out of your mouth and you're like,
Yep.
"Brain, why did you say that?"
Yep, we've all been there.
Every day.
Mm-hmm. Every day and we pray. Anyway, yeah, so everything but the Nintendo Switch, the Stadia, and other such dumb goodness that can't put out the experience that you deserve from Resident Evil 8 will have it. So I'm excited for this. I couldn't really get into Resident Evil 7. Um, not that they didn't do a good job making the world, but I couldn't really get around the control system, so I'm hoping Resident Evil 8 I can get a better feel for. There's a Bernie mod in Resident Evil 8 7?
Oh yeah, there's a Bernie mod in Resident Evil 7.
All right.
Yeah. It's real dumb.
Like, doesn't
Is it
surprise me.
as dumb as the Thomas the Tank Engine Skyrim mod?
Yo, that shit is frightening. That-
The Macho Man Randy Savage version was the most frightening.
Oh no, that's like the best mod ever made.
That was nightmare fuel, man.
Oh, and of course, the inventory from Resident Evil 4 is back, and I'm excited for that. I don't know why managing that dumb system from Resident Evil 4 was so great, but it was. You can also pre-order the game and get some collector's editions. Don't pre-order games. Don't buy collector's editions unless you really like the shiny artwork.
I mean, if Cyberpunk taught us anything, come on, guys. Don't.
I pre-order
real
games, but I'm
don't.
an idiot. Don't do what I
real
do.
quick before we move off of this Switch and Resident Evil conversation, I just want to point out that there is some speculation that RE8 could come to Switch via a cloud version.
Yeah, they did that with
Um,
RE7 in Japan, so
yeah, they also did it with RE3, the remake. Um, or at least there was a potential that they could do that. I don't know if they actually officially announced that or not.
mm.
But yeah, like because of that, like it could potentially come to Switch. It just hasn't been officially announced yet.
It like a cloud version for fear of storage issues.
I
Uh
think for fear of running issues.
yeah, this game
Ooh.
is definitely going to outperform what the Switch can produce for graphics. I love my Switch. I love the fact that it is a light boy that can be gone around anywhere. Yeah, Control has a cloud version on the Switch. Resident Evil 7 actually came out before the Stadia, so eat that, dirtbags. But yeah, it could come to Switch. It just won't be there initially.
You know, we've got to petition Google to give you like a lifetime membership for Stadia. Just for how much love you have for that system.
It's such hard garbage, and there's more to talk about on that later. I have strong opinions. I do love what Stadia could have been. There was a inkling of greatness. But we'll get to that. There is also the RE-verse game that will come bundled along with Resident Evil 8. I'm not entirely sure if you can buy it outside of it, but if you buy Resident Evil 8, you get this. It is a multiplayer shooter, uh, little combat area sort of thing. What, like Hearthstone-like hero shooter? Anyway, all your boys are all the exact same size, so for some reason, your giant sloth monsters are also exactly the same diminutive size that everyone else is because they wanted to have enough room for everyone to run around. And it looks dumb as hell. I am so not going to play it. But let me see if I can pull up. Resident Evil RE-verse. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Hall is Fire. And as you can see, your areas are very large, and everyone is about the same size to keep you from having any odd job like scenarios. But it also makes you
So,
feel like the most diminutive person ever.
so it's Overwatch, but Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I
Not
mean,
that it doesn't look nice, but I can't see the real appeal of this, to be honest.
I'm curious to see how it plays, just because, like, I don't know. Every time that multiplayer has been attempted in the Resident Evil franchise, it has never really worked out very well. Like the closest would be like Resident Evil 5, whenever you were playing co-op, but that's not technically like what this is trying to do.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Like I'm curious to see if they can pull this off. Because like it would be cool. Like the idea is cool.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like, do they actually have the? Are they actually able to pull it off?
Yeah, and if you ever wanted to see who would win in a fight, Chris Redfield or Ada Wong, you got your way to do that now.
I have a better way of finding out who could win in a fight. It's called Fire Pro Wrestling.
I actually think that is a better way to find out who would win in a fight, oddly enough.
But that's just me.
now see, I am gonna continue losing nerd credit on this show.
Mm,
Apart from that horrific Wii rail shooter,
mm.
I've never played a Resident Evil game, but I also don't deal with horror games very well.
Yeah, like you don't play horror games, it's no big deal. I've never played a single one of the Silent Hill games in my life, so yeah. We all have shortcomings. Silent Hill stopped coming out about the time that I started going, oh, horror games are actually fun. Beforehand, I saw no joy to be had in being scared by a video game. Turns out it's super fun.
It is. That's why I downloaded the Medium.
How
Ooh.
have you taken a look at the medium and all? I hear mediocre things about it.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've downloaded it. I have not booted it up yet, just because like I literally I downloaded it like over the weekend, and meant to get to it before we did the show today because I wanted to talk about it a little bit, but I
Mm,
just didn't have a chance to. So I'll have more to talk about next week with it. But from what I have seen, if you want something that kind of has a Silent Hill feel to it, like it kind of does that for you in a way. But I'll have more to say once I actually put like hands on it
fair enough.
next week. Yeah.
There is also the CGI Netflix series Resident Evil Infinite Darkness that's coming along, and the graphics I've seen of it looks good so far. It's hard to really say with a couple second trailer of a CGI show, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
Also, hey, if you play the Division 2, you can now get Leon's Raccoon City cop outfit.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Where? How?
Um, Google it. Remember?
as I go frantically Googling, because I do play Division 2. I actually enjoyed that game.
I can't say I ever have, but like, I don't know.
I got it on sale.
I don't know if Leon's cop outfit is real. Like, I understand that's, a throwback to way early in the series, and some people are big into that, but kind of liked his outfit in Resident Evil 4 a lot better.
Oh, like when okay. Um I'm Googling. I'll still be here. Just might not talk.
Oh, excuse
No
Um
me.
worries.
I did a sneeze out of nowhere.
It happens.
But yeah, that's about it for the Resident Evil day that they had. It did put out a lot of very compelling and interesting things. And knowing that it was coming out so fucking soon kind of surprised me. I kind of thought this was going to be an end of year release. Instead, we're getting it in May. That's a real quick lead up to that release, but meh, about 5 months. Not bad.
oh. So apparently all you need to do is log into Division 2 before the end of the crossover event, which is February 2nd through the 15th.
Eh.
It was supposed to be part of uh, a codename Nightmare
Hmm.
event, but the event has since been canceled. But as long as you log in between the 2nd and the 15th, you get the uniform.
I mean, COVID do make things happen or not happen, as so it goes.
Which is sad because I mean the only thing I can think of for a crossover is that we would have a zombie mode in Division 2.
But yeah, I think that about covers the RE8 showcase. There's also been some talks, just for sake of mentioning, that the Resident Evil 4 remake has been slowed down in production as they're focusing more on RE8 and, of course, the various DLCs that will come out because it is Resident Evil, there will be DLC. So don't expect that RE4 to come anytime soon if the talks of the water cooler are to be expected. Any shit. Vicarious Games, coming off the absolutely amazing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 re release, has been shuffled over to Blizzard for reasons, despite having a streak of bringing back an old series of games and doing it amazingly well. From what the scuttlebutt is, they're mostly making skins for Overwatch, as I understand it, which is a
So,
giant waste.
from reports that I've seen, it's actually more than that. Um, Basically, this whole situation, um, just kind of leads more into the idea that Blizzard is no longer the Blizzard that made Blizzard a name.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the team that worked on remakes there basically is being phased out, um, under proper Blizzard,
Mm.
and they're moving Vicarious Visions in to basically take the place of that team. This was the team that put out that Warcraft 3 remake
Yeah.
last year that was terrible.
Suboptimal. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
great.
basically that team's being broken up. The Activision has said they're allowing people from that team to interview for other positions in the company, which is um so basically like that team is gone. Vicarious Visions is coming in, and initial reports are that they're going to begin working or step in to continue developing a remake of Diablo 2 that is coming.
Do we need a
So
remake of Diablo 2?
did we need a remake of Warcraft 3?
No.
There you go. People will buy it though. And like and Vicarious Visions has proven that people will buy it because of what the work they did on Tony Hawk and the work they did on Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, and it
Um
was amazing fucking work.
yeah. So it makes sense that they would absorb them into Blizzard proper and push them to do that kind of work for these properties here. But like this basically signals a seismic shift in the n- maybe not necessarily the philosophy of Blizzard, but definitely the idea of what Blizzard represents. And it's been a slow crawl to this point, honestly. Like we've seen multiple like big names for the longest time at Blizzard leave the company in the past few years, start new companies elsewhere. And I think a lot of people have felt like Blizzard has kind of had the soul sucked out of it because of a
Yeah,
lot of these practices due to them being Activision Blizzard now.
yeah.
Because along with that announcement came also the announcement that all development on StarCraft 2 was shutting down as well. So, like, there's been a large shift in focus, for a number of people within Blizzard itself, when it comes to this. And I want to say that there actually might be a delay on Overwatch 2, in some way because of this as well. Don't quote me on that. I think that's still just a little bit conjecture, but yeah.
It amazes me that they would shut down development on StarCraft 2 entirely because there are still people playing StarCraft to this day. Ye OG boy is still getting a lot of love from players. Whereas StarCraft 2, as far as I know, never really hit that sweet spot for gamers to make it an iconic game that, would stand the test of time, and instead was, it's an interesting diversion. Okay, let's go back to our StarCraft. So it doesn't amaze me, like, Blizzard has been slowly sucking harder and harder over the last few years. So, yeah. Maybe Vicarious will make Blizzard suck less. It's a positive spin, right?
I
Anywho,
mean, they'll make good games, but it just continues the trend of like Blizzard not being the Blizzard that everybody fell in love with. I mean, this is like, like it's just, I don't know. It's frustrating to see in a way, but also like I'm not like one of the people that like fully was like a big Blizzard person, just because I wasn't really a big PC gamer growing up. So like I didn't grow up with a
neither
lot of
was
these
I.
titles. Like so I don't know. Like at the same time though, like there is there is no real delineation between Activision and Blizzard now. You can't say that any like there was may have been some crumbs to hold on to. No, not anymore.
Like, Blizzard
No.
hasn't done anything in, I want to say, at least a solid 5 years that really changed the way the industry looks, which used to be what
Overwatch.
Blizzard did always. Yep.
Overwatch was the last time.
Yeah, Overwatch was definitely the last time, and it's been a while. Now, you can say that Blizzard did usually take its time between developing different games. Everything worked on Blizzard time. It's a shorter version of Valve time. Uh, but still, they used to make games that changed everything, and have they put out anything other than WoW since Overwatch came out?
Well, I want to say
No.
Heroes of the Storm came out after Overwatch.
I don't think it did. Give me a
I
second.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's the Warcraft 3 remake, which nobody liked. There was Heroes of the Storm that got really quickly shit canned. So nothing
and
that anybody
Hearthstone came
cares
out
about.
before Overwatch did.
Yeah,
So
Hearthstone came
Uh,
out before. Diablo 3 came out before.
yeah,
Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm were both released in 2015.
yeah.
Yeah, so 6 years since they've done anything that mattered, and the second item on that list doesn't matter at all. Nobody loved Hero of the Storm.
It was
Yeah.
okay.
It was
As I
okay.
don't know. I played MOBAs. It wasn't a bad MOBA. They just didn't support it really.
Yeah, it just didn't have any life to it, is my understanding. Like, it wasn't a bad game, it just existed. I mean, Hearthstone also does have the problem that it doesn't really have a full breathing life to it, but it doesn't need to. It's a card game.
And it already has its fan base. And it's
Yeah,
big. It's so big already.
It's Magic the Gathering light.
exactly.
And
Speaking,
I mean, it's gotten to be completely unsustainable for people who are more casual players, just like Magic the Gathering, where they perpetually have new blocks of cards that are released under new themes, except these are all locked behind paywalls.
Mhm.
And it's incredibly frustrating because I had decks that would demolish. If I logged in now, I would lose every fucking game. So it just eh, they Activisioned it.
Mhm, mhm. Just make everything bland and release it every 2 years, and that's an Activision game. Yay. Anyway.
Every 2 years. Sorry.
Oh yeah, we
Ask
forgot to
Call of
do every
Duty
two
about that.
years. Yeah.
Sorry, we keep cutting you off as you try and move on to the next story. I'm gonna shut up now.
It's fine. The next two stories, we're just gonna hit some very lighthearted things. Though this isn't actually that lighthearted under the hood. The Japanese government is looking at making changes to the way that they handle IP. So that would consider that anybody doing likely marketing and using marketing of themselves, your cosplay, Patreon models, etc., if they are making cash off of it, may have to pay copyright laws in order to do so. Which, considering that Japan is basically the heart of cosplay, really would fucking hurt it. I know that it is big also around the world as well, but it is nowhere as big as it is in Japan. This also kind of hurts fans that make their own, products that could have copyrighted stuff in it, though not necessarily, like some people may make, like Pac-Man drinking a beer is a thing that I have seen on a t-shirt before, but that will be absolutely illegal. Yeah, YouTube and Twitch is gonna be a problem as well. You're entirely right, Coop. Because hey, how many people cosplay and then make a YouTube video or go on Twitch? Especially your body paint artists that transform themselves into other people using the power of paint. There's a lot of shit that would be kind of fucked under all of this. Um, I am really hoping this law does not come into the light here. It does really depend upon the feelings of the majority of Japan, rather than the niche that is all of this online bullshit. But still, gross.
And I mean, like this could also like crush the convention circuit as well, because a good part of the reason
You cut off Linz. Lindsay.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose a Lindsay?
Well,
I
yep, there we
I
go.
derped. I stepped on my mic cord. Um, yeah. But this could be devastating to the convention circuit because a huge part of the reason you go to cons, especially like any kind of nerd con or fan con, is to see the cosplay. Because some people are fucking ingenious. And like, I mean, conventions are expensive as is, and then having to pay licensing fees on top of that for the cosplay you wear? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it depends from the way it sounds overall. Like it's just people making large sums of money. As it mentions, there are cosplayers that can charge a lot of money for bookings, or even through Patreon, they're making a lot of money. So you may be required to pay in a percentage, or go to jail. or at least be fined very heavily. So it's a thing to keep an eye on. So if it stays the way it sounds, it wouldn't stop you from going to Ye Convention Hall and showing off your latest costumes, but it has the chance to do so potentially.
This just seems like it goes into so many different gray areas in a way. Like I would it would be immensely frustrating if people that like have cosplay Instagrams that are like not like set up for profit get hit by this. Like that would be extremely frustrating
Yeah, and
to
how do
me.
you keep that from being something that's like, oh, you got 100,000 views on Instagram. We would like $100 because you cosplayed as our person, and that is promotion for you. Well, I didn't make any money off of the Instagram. Yes, but you're gaining social clout from our property.
God, social clout as an economic measurement is so gross. Um, but anyway, but no, like it seems like the law as written that could go into practice or might already be in practice right now. It's very open ended with how it is enforced, and if they're going to do something like this, they need to be very granular about how and when enforcement will take place. I know that normally laws are not very granular; they are left open ended on purpose
Mm,
for a reason. But like this is a situation where you really need to kind of boil down to the details on this and make sure that people can act in good faith if you are going to put this into practice. Um, you know, like it's just I don't know, it's just frustrating to see because like so many cosplayers don't do it for profit. They do
mm.
it for love of something and if that love is tainted in any way by companies bringing down the copyright hammer on people because they're just expressing themselves and their love for something um with no intention for profit, like that's just gross
Yeah, like your
personally.
Jessica Negris of the world are such a small percentage compared to the number of people that, just put several months of work just to wear a thing to a convention and have fun and pretend to be somebody else for a day. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot depending upon how the laws play out. And I hate that. Hey, while we're in the area of weird things that are mildly legal, hey, Honey Pop 2 finally got a date. It is coming out February the 12th, I want to say 20th?
Eighth.
8th. My brain, I don't know why, I had it stored in memory before we went on to do this. But yeah, actually, February 8th is the first day I get off work. I took a week off of work directly when this game comes out. Okay. I'll give everyone a report the next week on how Honey Bob 2 plays. Lord. But this game has been a long time coming for the developers. They've had a lot of troubles, health conditions, of course, the COVID, and several other things that have happened during the development of this game that have pushed it back further and further. And while I will say that the developers of this game are kind of assholes and probably not good people, uh, they do have a weird work ethic that is really strong. So it's, as far as I can tell, real frustrating for them. So there you go. You can finally play this highly anticipated sequel.
I'm just reading the replies to the announcement tweet and just I'm losing hope in humanity.
It's a bunch of horny anime boys. What do you expect? And I'm not going to the tweet. Um, Fun fact, actually, on my mobile phone, I have Twitter censored because I don't like the idea of walking around in public and all of a sudden there's a giant ass. And people going, why is there a giant ass on your phone? So I have it censored. And then I went to put this link into the Discord, and this is the primary reason I mention it. And it's basically an ass shot with a little jewel in the ass. So thumbs up, you degenerate jerks. I had no way of knowing, but I'm leaving it there because that's how it do. Ready to get back into real stories now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Brian. I may need a little bit of your help on this because I don't know the Xbox environment super well, to be honest with you, because I never wanted to peek my head into it that much.
Okay.
And I think you do know this better than I do. However, seeing as Xbox and all of its things wants to go towards being the ultimate instead of Xbox Live Gold, which only brings them, for most players, roughly $5 a month, instead upping the cost, nearly doubling it as I recall, so that you would have this Xbox Live Gold that allows you to play with other people would be just a few dollars short of their premium Xbox Ultimate that gets you so much more and free games every month. And why wouldn't you want to come over to your premium service? If it's only a few dollars extra a month, it's a cup of coffee extra per month, guys. Big deal.
Okay. So basically, this all went down last week whenever we weren't on,
Mm-hmm.
and so Xbox decided they were going to increase the price of Xbox Live Gold subscriptions, which was an interesting idea for the exact same reason that you stated. If you have an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, you have Xbox Live Gold like already folded into that. So raising the price here, yes, it was definitely a push to get more people to subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate in that way because they have been. That's really where their focus is in terms of a major revenue stream right now when it comes to almost their entire strategy,
Mm.
honestly, because like the also report came out last week that like they're up to I think 18 million Game Pass subscribers,
Mm.
and they want to keep that number going up, obviously. So yeah, it makes sense that you would raise the price just a little bit to kind of push people towards spending that little extra on an Ultimate subscription instead of just having Xbox Live Gold. Um, that being said, though, um, we know uh, video game players, and the response was in line with those beliefs or those expectations. People fucking railed against Xbox for this decision. I believe like it generated like a copious amount of replies on social media, um, and so much so that within I want to say like one day
Yeah, it was one
they
day later.
yeah, within one day they reversed course and said, "Yeah, we're not gonna increase the price on this. We're sorry. We're no, we're not gonna do it." Um, and honestly, like while I can see the strategy for it, for making that decision to begin with, um, at the same time, like it just doesn't like it wasn't very well received. And I think it makes I don't know. I hate to give credence to people just kind of like blasting with a lot of like hate towards people, but like there were actual like complaints in this about this, um, especially with like the deluge of streaming services and online services and that sort of thing that you don't really want to have a price increase. that could impact those sort of things. So they walked the decision back, um, and that's really the end of the story, honestly. I mean, they keep trying to push people to Game Pass, which makes sense. Honestly, like I don't know. This is my own personal opinion. I don't know why you would have just an Xbox Live Gold subscription at this point. Personally, I think Game Pass is just the better deal, honestly, because you get all that functionality along with a vast library of stuff that is really cool. So, but at the same time, everybody can make that decision for themselves. And that's people that have Xbox Live Gold subscriptions that just want that so they can play online. That's totally fine. And they get your games with gold every month. Like, yeah, that's if that's what you want, that's what you want, and you should be able to pay that same amount that you've been paying. Like, there's really no reason for them to increase the price right now, especially after they've been like bumping up subscriptions to Game Pass as much as they have.
Mm.
That like obviously like it's a corporation. It's a capitalist structure. They want to make as much money as possible. It's the same reason why I'm complaining that Netflix is raising the price again on my fucking subscription.
Oh,
Buttholes.
okay, so it's not just Canada then?
No,
Mm.
it's not. So, but at the same time, like, yeah, like Xbox, I think they were smart to walk this back as quickly as they did. I don't think that they really soured a lot of people's opinions of them, honestly, with this whole thing. Like, outside of the couple of days that this was really out there to the forefront of the news, um, I haven't really seen a lot of blowback on Microsoft for making the decision and walking back on the decision. It was also definitely helped by all the GameStop stuff that happened, basically knocking it out of any conversation around video game news almost immediately
Yeah.
last week. So yeah, like I look, I understand why they did it. I think that it was the right decision to walk it back right now. They just need to keep finding strategies to push people to Game Pass. But yeah,
Here's my hot fucking take. Why bump a $5 currently for Xbox Gold?
$10 a month.
So it's $10 a month, but like if you can buy in large chunks, right? So if you pay per year, you're getting $60.
Well, here's the thing. They don't do the it's weird. If you don't already have an Xbox Live Gold membership,
Hmm.
you cannot renew for 12 months anymore. They took that option away.
Okay.
So the most you can do is 6 months, and that's at $40.
Okay.
Um, so they have the 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month tiers. If you are an existing customer before they decided to take away the 12-month subscription, you can still renew if you live in the US
Hmm.
for a 12-month subscription that's $60, like it has been standard for the most part. But yeah, so there's been a lot of like wonky movement in how they've like packaged this a little bit in the past 3 to 4 months, I want to say. So yeah, it's all restructuring to try and funnel people to the Game Pass subscription because I mean Game Pass Ultimate is $15 a month, so it's $5 more, and that comes with the library as well. So like the argument can be made for the value proposition there,
Hmm.
but at the same time, if people just want their monthly free games and the ability to jump online with their friends and play, like if you don't want to access that library, there should be an option for that.
Yeah, and I can understand like bumping up the price a little bit. They started off by mentioning they haven't bumped the price of this up in a while, but the amount that they bumped it was kind of ridiculous. So, yeah, considering especially gamers gonna gamer, this was a really fucking dumb decision on their end to do it the way that they did. I could understand if they're like, hey, instead of it being, 12 months and $60 a year, now you can get like $70 or $80 a year and bump up the cost by a few dollars and, help them keep that back end going. But the amount that they bumped is, you stated, like, it just doesn't make this service really understandable for anyone to do it, because you're basically pricing out the people that want a cheaper way so that they can actually fucking use their console to play with their friends. And, you know, the people who are gonna upgrade to Game Pass subscriptions probably already have at this point. You're kind of trying to squeeze a turnip. And that's dumb. That's real dumb. I love corporations. They're great. Hey, speaking of corporate bullshit, let's get into the real fucking story we came here to talk about today. Stonks. Alright, let's set up some history here. Roughly 6 months or so ago, you heard here live on Mr. Video Games us talking about the man who did the short stocks during the housing recession. The man from The Big Short, not the actual actor, but the person the actor was playing, and I can never remember his name. Anyway, bought a whole shitload of GameStop stock. And both myself and Brian kind of went, why? And now we have to imagine we see why. Because at first, when he bought the stocks, they were selling at roughly $5. More people jumped on after he bought the stocks, bringing it up to about $15. Other things happened, and eventually, before all of this, it was at roughly $18 valuation. So he had made a decent amount of money. But for the people paying very fucking close attention to GameStop, brain, say the word. If you're paying close attention, as several Redditors were paying attention, you noticed that, God, I'm going to have to describe shorting now. Say you loan me $10, and tomorrow $10 is worth $8. So I give you back $8. Where's my extra $2? It's not worth that anymore. I could probably describe it better, but I'm not going to try. How many fucking YouTubers at this point have put out a video describing how shorting a stock works? You probably already know already at this point if you're listening to this fucking show. Not going to go into it hardcore. But it was at 130% shorted. That means there were shorted stocks that were also being shorted. Which is ridiculous. So Reddit day traders decided to do what Reddit do and fuck around and find out. So they started investing into this whole thing. Wall Street Bets, there we go, is the name of the Reddit subreddit. And then the money went up. And then Elon Musk fucking tweeted, hey, buy GameStop stock. Actually, I believe his exact words were something along the lines of GameStop stonks. Checkmark. At its height, it was worth $400 and I want to say $43, somewhere around that area.
483.
483. Thank you. Apparently, I can't remember fucking numbers today.
It's okay. The only number I remember was that it actually hit 420.69 at one point. And that's the actual high point for me, personally.
You're not wrong. Mero, you're gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, it skyrocketed, which is awesome, and has had some amazing, amazing eat the rich repercussions.
Kind of. It gets complicated, and that's one thing we're gonna have to talk on. The wonderful thing is that apparently people haven't just been happy about fucking around with GameStop, mouth, GameStop. Why do you keep saying GameStop? Anyway, they've also gone in on AMC, which you may have noticed during a pandemic, nobody's going to the fucking movies. Even penny stocks like Blockbuster have been heavily traded suddenly out of nowhere. Anything that they find that has been massively shorted.
And massively shorted by hedge funds.
Mhm.
That's the key point.
Now, here's the problem. So, yes, several hedge stocks have now gone out of business because of this. But most hedge funds have kind of done the smart thing, from as far as people have noticed, that the larger hedge funds have basically backwards doubled down. So they have put their money into the GameStop stock too. So what we're seeing is they own somewhere from likely 30 to 50% of valuation. You can especially tell this during night trades. Average investors, of course, can invest during open hours, but after the hours, you still see fluctuation, and primarily negative fluctuation. What's happening is that a lot of these hedge funds are trying to shoo people away from it by selling their stocks and making it look like the stocks are crashing. Meanwhile, most Redditors and people who are in it, to put it to the man, are not backing down. So, a lot of hedge funds are losing a lot of money, yes, but the big ones are set up for it, and we're going to get a few. We're positively going to get the death of a few of the smaller boys. And hopefully we get less shortages happening. People like trying to make big bank off of the deaths of woebegone stocks. But don't entirely see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people that are doing this as a matter of principle,
Mhm.
where they refer back to the hard times their families hit during the huge market crash of 2008
Mhm.
and going, y'all made bank off of that and you didn't help us.
Correct.
Why the fuck should we help you? However, pulling up GameStop's current stocks, I hope folk got out today. It's currently sitting down 100 points or 30.77%, down to $225 at close.
Yeah, so roughly half of its massive, massive peak that happened upon a time.
But it
Which,
gets worse
yeah,
because after hours trading has pushed it further down to $189 a share.
yep. And that's going to be mostly hedge funds because they have access to aftermarket trading.
Yup. Fuck after hours trading.
Put a pin in that. So, the biggest backlash to happen over this at all is Robinhood and other such stock market applications, things that allow the average people to get into stock markets and do day trading. And for years now, Robinhood has been the gold standard. Um, However, they were the first ones to start blocking users from buying stock in GameStop, and then started doing $1, like you can buy in one stock at a time. Uh, and they have stated that they're restricting transactions to make sure people don't lose everything, but It's not wrong that people will lose a lot of money off of this. And yet again, that's a plug I want to get back to here later. But this has opened up people from the left and the right. Fucking AOC and Ted Cruz both agreed that this needs investigations, and investigations have already started in the Senate in regards to all of this.
Good.
And
I mean,
that's
the
fucking
fact
crazy. Go ahead.
the fact that Robinhood was allowed to have a clause in their TOS stating that they have the right to proactively sell your stocks
Mm,
at any given time for any given reason is fucking bullshit.
absolutely.
I know I use an app for trading called Wealth Simple, mainly because they don't have a clause like that. And they're also Canadian friendly.
Nice.
However, it has been reported to me by friends who also use the app who were able to get in on the AMC and the GameStop stocks that there used to be a feature, or there is a feature called limit selling.
Mm,
So you can set pretty much a condition. If this stock gets to this dollar amount, sell. For GameStop and AMC,
mm.
you're not allowed to set a limit sell. So you have to sit and proactively watch this like a hawk, which is kind of bullshit for people who work full-time jobs. But yeah, there are actually lawsuits, class action lawsuits in I think 3 states that are being brought against Robinhood for what they're doing.
I will say I've seen a little bit of e-action on I follow a few more prominent like social media lawyers such as Legal Eagle who have stated that they don't see a class action lawsuit actually going anywhere. I've seen a little bit of more information on it. Like, there's a lot of shit baked into the TOC. At most, there may be a settlement that is far lower. So some people may make back cents on the dollar, basically, for this, like fractions of cents, if anything at all, from a class action lawsuit, if it were to go through. Definitely, Robinhood has lost more money though, not from any lawsuits that come through, but just from the flood of people that have fucking left Robinhood at this point for greener pastures. Which, since they started as, trading for the people, let the people trade, they used to say. Um, to most of the day traders, it really does feel like that knife in the back.
It does. Because like along with the whole proactive selling of your stocks, it's also at the lowest possible value.
Mm.
So, yeah, that stock may be worth $400. Robinhood was selling them off for like $100.
Yeah, that was because it used to be that you had to pay a commission each time you did a trade because somebody does have to physically input it. You can't just trade a stock. You have to actually have a stock broker go in and make the trade. So technically, you're putting in your request and it's just gathering up all of these other requests, and then an actual stockbroker is coming in and making the stock trade in your name. And they used to use charges for each a commission to each of these trades for the work of that stockbroker. So now they're making money in ways that are way less visible to the users. And as you said, Robinhood has been doing that. You're not going to notice it because usually it's going to be fractions of a penny or a few pennies per trade, but it adds up considering that you're going to be making as Robinhood, you're going to be making your trades in bulk. So you're talking each time a broker goes in and makes you trade, thousands, 10,000s of trades at the same time. And all of those pennies add up for your commission fee. Oh, Coop, stockbrokers are definitely the ones that have made out like bandits, if anybody. I actually found out that GameStop isn't even making any money off of this because they are at their cap for the number of stocks they can publish, and they don't own any of their own stocks right now. So they ain't made shit. But what sucks, and thank you, Brandon Sinclair, for a lot of boiling down a lot of very interesting information, quotes, statistics. Um, a lot of the people are going to lose a lot of money. Once the bubble bursts, it's going to be the true believers, especially the Redditors, that are going to keep their money in until everything drops. As we've seen with late night trading values, the hedge funds are going to go out early. So they're going to keep a large part of their money from the bubble, while the Redditors are likely going to be the ones that are going to lose an awful lot of money. And there's people that are set into place that can lose a lot of money. A lot of, day trading people do have that amount of money that they can, take tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of losses in stride because that's part of the market. And also, a lot of them are doing it for the lulls.
Yeah. There have been, like I was talking about before the show, like there have been employees of hedge funds going into the Wall Street Bets subreddit and trying to con people into selling.
Yeah, which is why they made their group private now, so that people can't just wander their happy asses in and start acting like friends. Hey, friends, now's a great time to sell your stock, and make your monies back. I mean, in theory it is. The farther down this goes, the worse it's going to get for people. The only way to make money is if everyone decides to stay in. It's kind of the prison dilemma in a lot of ways. Only if everyone stays in on the agreement does everybody win.
Yeah.
But it's not likely.
And we've also seen, I know I personally have seen articles being brought out by various media outlets, Bloomberg for one, saying, "Oh no, GameStop and AMC are done. It's silver now. It's silver." And you had the hedge funds doing multiple trades on silver today to try to inflate the pricing to make it look like there was a run on silver. Like, this is going so deep and so stupid it hurts. And Wall Street Bets is currently an open subreddit right now.
Okay.
Which is awesome. They did go private briefly, but it's because they ended up with like 6 million new users in a week. And Discord actually shut down their Discord server briefly.
Yeah.
Due to lack of moderation. And now Discord's actually helping them moderate their server. So this is, I mean, AOC doing her talk and discussing all of this, and then seeing one of Reddit's co-founders come in, who is a multi-millionaire, talking about how he knows what it's like to be poor.
once upon a time, sure, but you haven't known that in like the better part of 20 years, dude.
Exactly. Like AOC was not raised in a wealthy family,
Mm.
and Jagmeet Singh was not raised in a wealthy family. This is why they are both very much for the people. Like Jagmeet Singh's from Scarborough.
Knowing Quebec,
Scarborough is like the Bronx of Ontario.
er, Ontario, brain, why? Knowing Ontario decently, and boy, my own words kind of twist that enough. Um, I'm having a good word day. Yeah, knowing the outskirts of Ontario, I think Letterkenny's made me more interested in what actually happens in the smaller cities, way beyond the Torontos and whatnot.
Well, it's funny because like Scarborough is a suburb of Toronto.
Mm.
It's like Mississauga or Tobico. Like it's still a huge ass city.
Yeah, it's a big city, but you're not
You just don't talk
doing
about it.
great.
You don't. It's like the whole Lion King meme where it's like,
Mm.
"What's that shadowy part over there, Dad?" Oh, that's Scarborough, and we shall never talk of it. You know, like that. Yeah. Anyhow, sorry, I digress and I derail. I apologize.
No, it's kind of like, hey, I'm from Atlanta. Well, where are you from, Atlanta? Um, mm, College Park. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right?
Yeah, if you say where are you from? Oh, I'm from Bankhead. Okay, I'm from College Park. I don't.
Well, it's like when I worked for that other company as the lifestyle consultant, I would get calls from people in Georgia,
Mm,
and it was always Atlanta,
mm,
Peachtree, and Buckhead.
yep,
That was it.
and those are where most of your senators are coming from. Yay.
Exactly.
Mhm. Not getting a lot of representation from the places that actually fucking matter, unless you're talking about Republicans. A lot of Republicans do tend to come from those rural ass areas, but they also tend to be the only ones making money in those rural ass areas, or at least their families tend to be the only ones making money. So they can look like they came from fucking nothing and made it on their own. This is a huge fucking digression, but still.
It's class imbalance. That's what we're now discussing because that completely ties into this whole Wall Street bullshit.
Yeah. And man, I would love to say that this is, hey, this is like Occupy Wall Street, but I just don't get the feeling that we're really damaging the market as much as people make it out to be. The one real positive thing I would say though is that a lot of people have suddenly realized how fucking meaningless money actually is. And that's
Yeah.
great.
Well, I mean, one of the guys leading the charge on this, and he actually was interviewed recently, and I can't for the life of me remember his handle. Um, but he
I
has
think
come out
real fucking
publicly to
value.
say, yes, that would be it. Thank you. He has come out publicly to say that if he hits $100 million
Hmm.
in all of this, he's gonna buy up I think it was the head of Meridian Capital's uh $44 million mansion and open a GameStop in it
Okay.
because he could. And Meridian is one of the hedge funds that is getting hit hardest by this. Meridian, Citadel, they're both getting just pummeled.
Yeah, and while there definitely are a lot of hedge funds that are just making fucking bank off of it, a lot of the smaller ones, like Meridian, are the ones that are getting destroyed. And God, I only wish it was more of them. Because the ones that have the capital are either going to come out of this rosy or slightly damaged.
Yeah, they need to be severely damaged.
Mhm. So
I have never been a
ultimately,
wealthy person, so I'm wholeheartedly in the whole eat the rich camp right now. Like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, while I'm not communist, I do like for people to finally realize how fucking meaningless money actually is. It is not even backed to buy anything anymore. In the old days, it was how much silver you had. That shit don't exist anymore. It's like fairies; they only exist when you believe in them. Oh, I've gone on a weird tirade, Brian.
All that being said,
Uh-oh.
there I I mean, I think you know my feelings when it comes to the casino-like atmosphere of the stock market
Mm.
and the predatory nature of hedge funds and investment banking. And yes, there need to be congressional hearings. There already are congressional hearings scheduled for the CEO of Robinhood, as well as some of the other, because it wasn't just Robinhood, a number of the other companies that um, do allow, like, have programs and apps for day traders
Mm.
that also limited the buying and selling of GameStop and other companies involved in this. There is also some cultural things outside of the financial world that really need to be addressed when it comes to this,
Mm.
because while you know the Reddit, the subreddit is getting a lot of credit for sticking it to so many hedge funds. Anyone who spends more than 5 minutes in that subreddit can definitely come away from it feeling that that community um, w- needed all of the extra moderation help that
Oh,
Discord is giving them,
yeah, it
because it is
is.
a fucking cesspool.
It is toxic as fuck.
It is toxic. It is misogynistic. It's terrible. And the fact that I had to see Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports on CNN talking about this speaks wonders about the people that are in support of this sort of thing. And like I said, I am all for people sticking it to the fucking stock market, but at the same time, like, look inward at the community that you are fostering.
Mm.
Um, it should also be noted that, like anything else in this fucking climate that we're in, this has also begun to be adopted
Yeah.
by QAnon supporters as another facet of the vast conspiracy. There were people on Telegram going around falsely reporting that that Robinhood stopped trading of GameStop on direct order from Joe Biden in the White House, which has not been proven. There's been no evidence to that. Um, but it is feeding into QAnon in a way that is just making people more frustrated against the federal government in a way that could prove detrimental eventually if we see another thing like January 6th happen.
Mm.
And also there have been people in the Wall Street Bets subreddit that have been falsely identifying themselves as Robinhood employees, saying that they want to be whistleblowers on this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that is also very frustrating because those accounts have also been picked up by QAnon supporters as proof of a lot of this stuff, because they've been putting out the same conspiracy theories around this. So while the movement in terms of like regular people versus investment banking, the financial world, Wall Street, wherever you want to define it, is um, something somewhat admirable to see. Um, there are there is mold under the floorboards,
Yeah,
and
it
it makes it hard to throw my support unequivocally behind this them as people, as a community.
it reminds me a lot of the Scientology backlash. The people that started it were absolute chuds. But once it gained traction and became the people rather than the people who started it, it was definitely a better thing. Now, I am neither going to give 4chan nor at least the subreddit from which this all kind of started to bubble a whole lot of love and support on either end. I will say, if anybody is going to fuck up these people, go ahead.
First off, I will. I'm not fully with you on the Scientology thing. I think that organization is still very, very
Oh,
predatory
it's
and
yeah,
in this work.
Scientology is still around, but I don't think people understood how bad Scientology was until, people really started talking about it.
Well, yeah, I mean they operate in secrecy. This isn't about Scientology though. I'm not going to get into that whole thing. If you go for an hour on Scientology, um, but another facet of this that's really frustrating to see is that a number of the people, prominent people that are telling them the people in the subreddit and people that are holding GameStop stock to hold the line are people that will not be hurt
Mhm.
by the eventual popping of the bubble. The
Oh,
fact that
absolutely.
the actual Wolf of Wall Street, the dude who Leonardo DiCaprio played in that movie, is out there publicly encouraging people to hold the line in
Mhm.
this is like, it feels very it feels icky. It feels very predatory. Fuck Elon Musk. That's just a general thing. That doesn't have to do with this at all. Just fuck Elon Musk overall. He's a codependent piece of shit. Who like I don't know, fuck him. Anyway, and then like you have people like Ja Rule throwing their names behind this. And it's just all frustrating. And there's also there's also been a co-opting of narratives that don't really have much proof to them to keep people holding in this whole situation. Like a lot of talk around this centers on Ryan Cohen, who was the man who founded Chewy.com, sold it to I think to PetSmart or Petco,
Mhm.
one of the two, and made a boatload of money. And he ended up investing a lot of money into GameStop back in October.
Mhm.
He owns like 10% of the company. He's the largest individual shareholder in GameStop.
Yeah, that was
And
the one
he
part I completely forgot to mention. Thank you.
yeah, and he put himself on the and him and a couple of other of his associates were elected to the board of directors for the company now. And so like because of that, like there's been a lot of talk about like, well, why isn't he selling off his stock if like the price has gone up so much now? He could sell all of his stuff and walk away. And like on the subreddit, people are saying that like he's not selling and exiting GameStop because he believes in what we're doing and understands that like he's in it for the long haul and he supports us and all this stuff. Ryan Cohen isn't selling his stock because it is very easy for him selling his stock throughout this whole thing to look like insider trading and bring down a shit ton of litigation and SEC investigations on him. It
Mhm.
has nothing to do with what the subreddit is doing. And the fact that people are co opting that narrative and manipulating it into something else is extremely frustrating. It is gaslighting a lot of people that are eventually going to lose a lot of money in this.
Oh yeah.
It is like they're not doing anything good to help these people. I get that the people that have invested money that they are willing to lose in this can hold that fucking line, but people that have bought in whenever the stock was at like $300 and are being told to hold the line because the the largest individual shareholder isn't selling because he believes in what we're doing. Like no, that's not it at all. It's obfuscating the truth. You're doing like it's not on the same level as what the predatory nature of hedge funds and stuff are doing, but it's acting in bad faith. And it's really frustrating to see that they are manipulating their users in that way. If you like, dude, if these people want to hold on to this stuff and keep this thing going and keep sticking it to the man, go for it. I'm not gonna be a part of your shit because your community is fucking toxic as fuck. But keep doing your thing. I'll keep covering it and watching it and being very interested in what is happening. But if you are going to keep using your subreddit to bring out these false narratives that um, only serve your own purpose in this weird game of chicken that you have with fucking Citron, fuck you. Fuck you so hard. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like
this
stick it to the
is
man all you want, but don't destroy the people that you're like recruiting into this.
this is precisely why I say whenever anybody compares it to any large social movement, just say no, it's not. There's a lot of nuance into this that I do feel a lot of people miss, that there are going to be hedge funds that make a shit ton of money off of this entire situation. There's people who are going to think that they have, I just broke even, and then taxes are going to hit. And then there are people that really didn't have the ability to afford losing the amount of money that they're going to lose that amount of money, and then also taxes at the same time. There's a lot of people that are going to be really hurt from this. So that's also why, on a certain level, I almost understand the dumbass idea that Robinhood did of halting trading.
Well, Robinhood did that because they didn't have enough money to cover the trades they were making. People
Yeah,
were trading so much that their coffers were getting pulled. They did it to save their own butt. And trust me, I am not on the side of Robinhood in this whole situation. But I get why they did what they did. It's still fucked up.
yeah, there's a whole lot of real fucking dumb in this whole situation, and I feel like a lot of it gets washed out from the way that it's covered as people coming together and fighting back against the big hedge funds. And there is a lot of that, don't get me wrong. While the subreddit is the place where it started, and from everything that I have seen from Real Fucking Values, he seems like at least one person that is on the level. But that doesn't mean the subreddit itself is. Now, granted, I haven't done deep dives on Real Fucking Value, so I don't know his entire history. So I might be propping up a man that is a giant fuckface. I've only seen the parts that have been tweeted out about him, some of his history, and of course him being on several interviews so far. So I don't think he's a shitlord, but his community is definitely full of shitlords. But they are a fraction, and potentially a small fraction, of the people that have actually dumped their money in. Now, I have real trouble imagining that most people that are day trading into the stock market are great people in the first place. Stock market people and Bitcoin people both, to me, smell like cabbage, and I'm not a big fan. With my apologies to Giant Pie, of course. You, of course, do not smell like cabbage. You are a wonderful gentleman. But still, I care less about what happens to those people. It is the average person, like my little sister, for instance, who thought the whole thing was funny and put some of their money in. She's smart enough to not put so much of her money in that it could potentially cause her lasting financial damage. But still, there's a lot of people, that maybe have a little bit of a nest egg set aside that are going to entirely lose this nest egg and then drop more money when taxes hit at the end of the year. So yeah, there is nuance to this whole thing is really my big takeaway. And just looking at it as, well, the people are winning against hedge funds. Look at these few hedge funds that are dying out. Or the opposite side of, hey, look at how much money the hedge funds that are smarter are going to make off of it, as well as a whole lot of shitbags who have more money than they need to have. Hey, Lady Goggles. You came in a weird part where we're basically being giant communists together. Because apparently, I shouldn't be surprised that all three of us kind of look at money and say, go fuck yourself. So we just say it in very different ways. So fuck your average Redditor, fuck your average Dogecoin holder, fuck triple fuck hedge funds. And there you go. We're gonna have
Just don't trust everything that you see on there.
yeah.
Do your own research into what people are saying. If you're going to get wrapped up in this, like, do your due diligence. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
All right, we went on with that one way too long.
Yeah, we can hit this last one real quick.
All right, we got two real quick to go through. Stadia has shut down internal development with over 150 developers that they say they're going to try to pull into Google. But hey, if you're a video game developer in a company that doesn't make video game anymore, what the fuck are you going to do? Anyway, they basically let go their entirety of the two game studios in Montreal and Los Angeles, giving it not nearly enough time to ever fucking produce a video game in the first place. But it couldn't have been going well if this is how they went along. As well, Jade Raymond, who left EA in order to run this division, has left the company. So a lot of the people that Google has poached are either fired or leaving of their own volition at the same time. And they are going to instead give a lot more of their development tools and techniques and tips and all of that other good development stuff into the third parties who are involved with Stadia, hoping that the third parties can potentially save the platform, which I think investing in the third parties more is a good idea because they certainly haven't been doing it so far. Other than a little bit with Ubisoft. But firing a shit ton of people during a pandemic, regardless, is a shitbag move. And the whole thing smells awful.
Well, for what it's worth, the Google has stated that it will try to find the developers that are affected by the shutdown of internal development, new roles within the company. So obviously, not everybody is going to benefit from that, but some people will still hopefully find positions stable within Google. Um, I'm just gonna state it. Is anyone surprised by this?
No, not at
Not
all.
really.
I'm amazed they didn't spend a few more years trying to come up with that, you know, AAA game that they wanted to produce, whatever the hell it was.
I mean, it feels like Google jumped into an ecosystem that they had no idea about in terms of like game development.
Yeah, they
Um,
jumped in too fast
yeah.
with technology that wasn't finished, without a real good roadmap for what they're going to do with that technology that they produced.
I mean, is it and honestly, like it doesn't really have to do with the Stadia technology as a whole. Like, cause like they're still going to be operating Stadia Pro. They're trying to sign up to like market the Stadia tech to publishers. Like there's plans for the actual like platform
Mm.
there. Um, but in terms of like what I don't know what internally Google thought the timetable or commitment level that they thought was needed for actual game development. Like it feels like they did not really have. I'm sure they did research
Mm.
because it's fucking Google. You would hope at least,
Yeah,
but it really seems like they just went into this with no knowledge really of the level of commitment that would be needed for actual game development. I mean, the fact that it's been like what 2 years,
yeah.
2 years since Raymond was hired, yeah, and like that's minuscule in terms of a dev cycle. That's like less than a third.
Mm.
So like, I don't know. It just to me it just feels like Google, you know, got bored with their toy.
Yeah, I
Like they've
do
done with so many other things.
I do think it's a Hail Mary that could potentially help out the Stadia in the long run if they're willing to really go hard on getting the development tools that the third parties would need to them, as well as maybe giving a little bit of that lucrative funding, like Epic did. They shoehorned their way into the system with a lot of cash because they had it. And if you're telling me Google don't have more money than Epic does, something is fucking weird there. So there's still room for it to be a thing. And if they do it right, maybe they could save the crippling problems that Stadia currently has. But I'm not putting my money on it. um, I would love to see Stadia come back from E-Dead, but my money's presently on me moving to Xbox Cloud at some point in 2021. I'm giving them a little bit more time to woo me, and there's nothing on Xbox right now that makes me go, I gotta fucking play this. Um, but yeah,
I mean, honestly, it sounds like Stadia is being transitioned into something that looks more like GeForce Now. And I'll be real, GeForce Now performs better than Stadia does.
yeah. And very shortly, our favorite boy Jason Schreier put out a great article over on Bloomberg. Of course, I can't actually get to Bloomberg, but about all of the woes and the exorbitant amount of money that Amazon has spent on its gaming division starting in 2014, and has basically come away with goddamn nothing because every game that they have put out has been pulled the fuck away. And they're Amazon. They know how to make book, they don't know how to make game because they want to run a gaming division like you run a fucking book club. And I don't know if you guys know any programmers very well, but you know what a programmer really loves to do is fill out paperwork. 6 pages of documentation for every change. I like to document my paperwork or document my changes. I like to do it a lot because I'm a fucking weirdo. I am the 1%.
God.
So, yeah, Amazon, if you're smart, just fuck off with your, put your money in Twitch or something that you actually know how the fuck to run. And even then, I'd say I question it. Thank you, Daddy Amazon, of course, for giving us this platform where we can
Fuck
talk
Daddy
about video
Amazon.
games.
Fuck Daddy Amazon. Amazon ain't my daddy. Jeff Bezos ain't give me no allowance.
He's given us like $20 each so far.
That ain't Jeff Bezos. That's our fans. All right. Those are the people that tune in the chat and watch us every week. They give us that money. Jeff Bezos ain't give us that money.
True. If anything,
No,
Jeff
in fact,
Bezos
he's
took a few
taking half
bucks.
of it.
Exactly.
Of course, that was our last story of the day. And hey, I had something entirely different that I wanted to do as Mr. Video Games for today. And hey, I'm going to just put that up real quick. Because this is a very easy Mr. Video Games on any day, any week. Of course, if you don't know about Mr. Video Game as an award, we look at a person, place, thing, noun, object, and look at it and go, how great, how bad, how awful is this thing that you can only look at and it is definitive of fucking video games. And boy, Asus and IKEA teaming up to make tea holders for your desk is a hell of a Mr. Video Games. I thought that there was no way that this would be outdone for something that you look at and go, holy shit, that's video games, when you're getting fucking RBG lights to light up your fucking tea holder. But
Well,
no.
like they've got a whole line too. Like that's just it. They've got like
They've got desks and
A neck pillow, mouse pad, mouse bungee, and a multifunctional cushion and blanket, as well as an affordable ring light and phone holder combo. So,
Is
yeah.
that ring light and phone holder combo 9 foot 6 inches tall?
You know what the fuck is nine
no.
foot 6 inches tall? The
You can
best lady.
crush my head.
Putting out a statement today because they understand that all of you real thirsty, and Kotaku even trying to figure out the height of Lady Dimitrescu, said that she was a little over 8 foot tall. No, that bitch with the hat and the heels is 9 foot 6 inches tall. God damn, $5. Thank you, Lady Goggles. Um, but yeah, awarding your fans for their horniness by telling them, yeah, Lady Demonstru is real fucking big. Real fucking big. Now, I will say, great man Slow Beef happened to mention, and I couldn't look away from that tweet earlier in the stream and had to put it up, that Goofy, without, is 9'7" canonically. So if you really want to get slammed into the floor and a foot in your neck, just know that Goofy fucks.
I'll stick with my vampire lady.
Admittedly, you cannot drown in Goofy's giant bosoms. That's not possible, so...
Like I said in the chat earlier, she could devour my soul hairline first.
So there you go. If you want to know who Mr. Video Games is, for February the 1st, 2021, is fucking Capcom for putting out this goddamn statement. Holy shit! Just coming out like, oh, we understand. You guys love Giant Lady, don't you? She's huge.
Tomonori Takano is a saint.
Oh, I love it so much. Capcom knows exactly what they've done and just gone, boys, we're leaning into it. Nintendo, when we said, oh, Bowsette, she fucks. And Nintendo went, that's not happening. Let's just sweep that under the rug. No, Capcom coming up front. Good boys. Good boys. This is how you sell a fucking video game. We're all excited to die at the hands of Lady Demonstru in Resident Evil 8. Thank you, everyone. That does it for Mr. Video Games for February the 1st, 2021. I'm going to do this real quick because I know you got to go. Brian, any final words of the evening today?
Thank you to everyone who joined in chat. I will go ahead and preemptively second Lady Merowyn in saying wash your hands and wear your mask. Follow me on Twitter at WonderboyOTM, and check out my LGBTQ pro wrestling podcast, LGBT in the Ring, every Thursday on the Outsports Podcast Network. It's always a fun time.
All right, and Brian, we'll be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock when we finally
Yes.
finish our talk on The Last of Us Part 2. I'm excited to get that fucking done, so then we can get back to Thought Dub.
Same.
I, of course, have had a great day today talking with everyone today. Lady Goggles, Coop, Giant Pie, Nomi, all of our other listeners who have what been in today. It is always good putting on a show for you guys. Part 2 of The Last of Us, Part 2, will be tomorrow. Of course, always, we have Discord and Twitters in the doobly-doo down below. Lady Merowyn, any final words for this evening?
Always don't forget to love each other from a socially responsible distance. Wash your hands, wear your mask, be the change you want to see in the world, and just be cool. Um, I will be back Sunday over on my channel doing my usual Sunday night Zen Out stream. We're gonna continue on with our little Stardew farm that we started a couple of weeks ago and just kind of like shut off our brains for a bit.
chatter and just relax. Because we all need that these days.
As always, thank you everyone who what has come about today. It's been a whole lot of fun. Of course, we're always chatting on the Discord, probably too goddamn much, but hey, I love it, and I love all of you little fucking communists who come along with us for the ride. You know what, Coop? You know what? Just for you, bye now. I'm getting that capture card. Once it arrives, I will do a quick play of Maiden because you asked and were so very nice about it. So we'll put that probably on the week that I'm off of work. Maybe we'll do a stream or something along those lines. Hell, fuck it. If it's in by my birthday, let's say February the 11th, I'll do a birthday stream for fuck's sake. I don't fucking know anymore. There's so much going on in the world. Thank you guys so much, as always, for being here. I've probably had too much coffee, but anyway, I want you all to have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow.
Bye.